Guys that box for a living and guys that are your age. How about that?
He says he wants to fight Canelo. I'm just saying what he. That's what he.
Hear you. Then why is he not fighting Canelo?
Canelo. I don't think Canelo wants to waste his time.
Yeah.
I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you
Needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson and needs all these other people because that everybody's going to tune in to hope that Mike Tyson knocks him out.
Right.
They're not tuning in because they think Jake Paul's a great fighter and they want to see him compete.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Quick Rundowns, the show where we break down the biggest news in sports, entertainment, and everything in between. Today, we've got a wild one for you. Dana White just absolutely shredded Jake Paul in a way that left everybody talking. And I'm here to give you the rundown on why this drama might be more than just trash talk. It might be a fight for the future of combat sports itself.
and that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid. And for those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down.
Let's get into it. All right, so let's set the stage. Dana White, the UFC boss, the guy who turned mixed martial arts into a billion-dollar empire, basically put Jake Paul on blast this week. And when Dana goes off, it's not your typical internet drama. No, this was a straight-up decimation. Dana's main point? Jake isn't a real fighter. He's a YouTuber, a content creator, and at best a wannabe boxer who's more interested in making headlines than actually competing in the ring.
And for those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down, the guy that's standing in the middle with the Warlock nose and the big Warlock wart on his face, apparently that's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me. And let's just say this, he no longer works for me, and I think he's a scumbag.
Now, to be fair, Jake Paul's boxing career has always been, let's call it controversial. He's fought mostly older, smaller guys, Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, even Anderson Silva, guys who were either out of their prime or in some cases, way past it. And let's not even get started on the Mike Tyson rumors. But according to Dana, it's not just the matchups that are questionable. No, Dana's accusing Jake of being a fraud, not just in the ring, but in the whole sport. Jake's entire boxing career, a spectator for a rake in views, clicks, and of course cash. And you know what? He might not be wrong.
I didn't even know the guy was fighting. When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too.
Now, here's the kicker. Jake Paul is sitting there on his YouTube throne playing the role of the champion for fighter pay. He's made it his personal mission to expose how much UFC fighters are underpaid, especially compared to the millions that boxing champions make. But the problem with that narrative? It's starting to feel like another stunt. Think about it. Jake's boxing career is built on viral moments, not on actual competition. Every fight feels like a show more than a serious athletic endeavor. So when Jake tries to come across as the Robin Hood of fight sports, you gotta wonder, is this really about fighter pay or is it just a ploy to keep his name trending?
You think that you can do it better than we do. We're doing this whole thing wrong. You could treat the fighters better than we do. Knock yourself out. Go start your own business. It's easy to do. Go get the Warlock on it. The Warlock can get it started for you. What you and the Warlock should be focused on is your business.
Then there's Jake's manager, the so-called Warlock. Yeah, you heard that right. Warlock. And Dana White's absolutely roasting him.
I'm ready to roll, buddy. I don't use cocaine. Do you use steroids? Let's do this, Jake.
Apparently, this guy used to be Dana's accountant and couldn't cut it in the business side of things, so now he's running around managing Jake's career. To Dana, this is the perfect example of how low Jake's whole operation has sunk. He's got an accountant turned hype man trying to make Jake's boxing career look legit. But what's the real goal here? It's all about clicks, likes, and views. Jake Paul's entire persona is a marketing machine, and Dana White's just calling it what it is, a circus.
He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same.
Now, Dana White didn't just stop at the manager roast. Oh no, He leveled up and straight up accused Jake of juicing. Yep, he's calling for random steroid testing for Jake Paul, claiming that those muscles of his aren't exactly the result of hard work and protein shakes. And honestly, it's not the first time this has come up. Jake's physique has been a topic of conversation for a while, and if Dana's willing to make this kind of challenge public, there's some real beef there. And here's the kicker. Dana offered to take random cocaine tests for 10 years. Yeah, 10 years to prove that he's clean.
Jake, you never responded to the challenge. You publicly stated that I use cocaine. I do not. So I told you could randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years. I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you.
Meanwhile, Jake's being called out for steroids. This whole steroid versus cocaine thing has blown up. And then we've got the whole Mike Tyson thing. You know the one. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. It's been teased for a while, and suddenly it's looking like a real possibility.
And was also considered a boxer, and he lost. So if you can keep fighting fucking 50-something-year-olds...
You don't think Tyson has a chance?
And making a living at it. I think that Mike Tyson has a puncher's chance against anybody.
But here's the problem. Mike Tyson, as legendary as he is pushing 60. Tyson was undefeated in his prime, no doubt. But today, he's older, slower, and facing a guy nearly 30 years younger than him. The age gap alone makes this matchup seem more like a setup for Jake Paul to look good than an actual fight. And that's exactly why critics like Bernard Hopkins are calling this out. Tyson, one of the most iconic heavyweights of all time, shouldn't even be in the same conversation as Jake. The fight feels forced, and that's what's fueling the controversy. So let's take a step back here. What we've got is more than just trash talk between two guys with egos the size of a UFC cage. This is a fight for the future of combat sports. Dana White's entire career has been about creating real, legitimate competition. Jake Paul? He's out here turning boxing into a reality show. And the question is, which one is going to win out? The purist approach to fighting that Dana White's been pushing, or the content-driven spectacle that Jake Paul is building? I'm not going to lie, this whole thing's been fun to watch. It's like a train wreck you can't look away from. But at the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves, what's the future of boxing? Is it real, hard-hitting competition, or is it all about selling the brand? Jake Paul's out here making millions, but is it because he's a great fighter, or because he's a great marketer? Dana White might be a little bitter, but he's got a point. Jake's been making money off of fights that don't even count. And if you're serious about the sport, that's a problem. So that's it for today's rundown. Honestly, the Jake Paul versus Dana White drama isn't just about these two guys. It's about what kind of combat sports we want to watch going forward. Do we want more real, hard-fought battles, or are we okay with watching a circus as long as the numbers keep coming in? Let me know what you think in the comments, or hit me up on social media. Are you Team Dana, Team Jake, or are you just here for the drama? I'm curious to see how this plays out, but one thing's for sure, this isn't over yet. Catch you next time on Quick Rundown. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more hot takes, breakdowns, and updates. Until next time, I'm out.